Oh, Reese is showing an alligator or something. Dave's into fucking snakes and lizards and reptiles and Alan Newton's in there? Oh shit. Oh. There I am, StreamYard. We got this guy and then we got that guy. Keep that secret, man. I'll check my porch tomorrow. It's gonna be epic, man. Ain't nobody on YouTube is gonna have one of these. They cost me $23. My guitar needs a tune. We're watching Fast and Loud in the background. Seems like most people have blown their loads outside. I haven't heard a howitzer. My apartment hadn't shaken for about 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, everything went out there, didn't it? What these lockdown things are supposed to stay in tune. Well, I did just put strings on it. Damn. Yep, tempo, turn that delay down to 19. Get off the neck pickup. Well, I deleted my turn TV off. Deleted my White Castle video. The White Castles were not very tasty. I told you when I got home, I had 2 of them and like half the onion rings. Like, why do I eat White Castle? Yeah, happy fuck the British Day or English or whoever that was. Do I hear fireworks? It's after 11. Shut up. Yeah, I still have fireworks. There's some people in the field across from me shooting off some illegal shit. You know when they light it and they run away real fast? And the boom that it makes before, as it launches? Whoa! Before it even explodes in the sky? That's some illegal shit. And I'm just going to leave this right here through the entire live stream. Just going to leave that right there. Going to leave that on the screen. Greg from Allstate. Hold on, I need to look at those for a second. Holy crap. Oh. I'm sorry, Blue Box. I was distracted by an avatar. Let me look at them again. Wow. Those are just spectacular. And they're real? Like, you didn't go to the doctor and get them? I don't even care if that's a dude. That wouldn't actually be a deal breaker just because of those things. Steve is gonna come on here and make me delete this. Dude, those things are spectacular. So Randy, if you want to come on and our Blue Mox, there's a pinned comment in there. If you don't, go fuck yourself. I mean, okay. Let's just backing track. What is this? This is I'll just pull up backing tracks and see what this says. That groove, back track, A minor. I know most of the notes in A minor. Oh. Not too low, too loud, just right. Okay, hold on. I really should stop reading the chat while I'm playing. Look, bro. If you turn around like doggy style, it doesn't really, you know, you don't see the 5 o'clock shadow. And, you know, if he has those, that's still not a deal breaker. I mean, I'm just... okay, back to the backing track. Let me turn off my piezo for Randy yells at me. Alright, that's enough of that. I did want to go back and post, Cushman, what's up? What did I want to post? I just wanted to set that there, just for a minute there. Just, yeah, okay. All right. I'll be back in 3 minutes. I'm gonna leave that up there for the rest of the stream. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like this guitar too. Thanks to Randy Price for pickups, which this had those EMG retroactives. You know, got the battery. Wrong hand, right there. Those EMG retroactives suck. Randy gave me a juicy booty, a JB for the bridge, and Fender SCNs or something neck in the middle. Yeah, the EMG retroactives are horrible. God, they're terrible. And I'm not a super pickup snob. I mean, hell, my favorite guitar's got an Invader in the bridge and two Player Series single coils. But I have to have $600 worth of pickups in the guitar. Who else is coming on? What do you say? You're too sleepy? What are you, drunk or something? Burn your finger on a sparkler? You know, no crossing swords. Alright, what else we got there? I wasn't playing that. I don't know what all those dots mean. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. Backing track in G major. I don't like major. That's not right. Charles. Look, Steve, I'm playing in major. Go! Oh, they're doing it! Tommy won a guitar with, like, got a bunch of extra strings on it, and like a whole bunch of frets on it, and the humbuckers are kind of in the wrong spot, kind of. It was just the next song in line, and it's like, okay, it's a major one. Steve's gonna have a heart attack because I'm playing in major. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Look what's after the guitar rock ballade, backing track in A minor. I need some other guitar players. Come on here. right. Doing the R2. Bruh! Wait, did you give me $50? Oh, you gave me $1.49, you bastard. Oh, shit. Steve, try me again. I went to click add you to screen and I booted you. Fucking Elon or Zuckerberg or whoever owns it. Steve, try that again. Wait. Is it the top one? Does it help? It doesn't help when I point at my screen. Steve just saw we got $1.49 and I think it's $1.47. Razor throat. Device is not connected. Let me kick you from the studio. All right, try that again. Blue Mox, you're the man. Thank you. Hey, you got your $1.47. You split it 5 ways. Stingy bastard. By the way, Randy, I think you heard it was not the $900 actual air conditioner compressor. I don't know if it helps when I do that because that's a compressor. I'm not much on cars. I pretty much put gas in them. Sometimes I'll pee on the steering wheel. Apparently there's a belt that goes on your compressor that turns it so it compresses the air and makes it cold. So Ryan's hex did not work. Yeah, no shit. Dude, come on. Dude, you want me to send your juicy booty back? It'll take me about 3 hours to get it out of the damn guitar. I would have married my ex-girlfriend, but she left me for another chick. Hold on, where is Steve? Hold on, where'd he go? He messaged. Can I call him while I'm here on? Y'all can't hear that, can you? I'm trying to call him on Facebook. No answer. Come back on. Oh, there he is. Add to stage. Hold on. Ah, hello, fuckers. Ah, okay. Okay, Steve. Steve met a girl, or several girls, and apparently he put his tongue places that he shouldn't have put it, and he's got a sore throat. Like in about 3 weeks, I'm gonna have a big sore throat. Right there. See that big lump right there? That's on my thyroid, and that should not be there. So he's got a. Steve, we just got $1.49 from Blue Mox. Oh wait, remove? No, wait, hold on. Something like that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's real low. Here, look at the screen. Right? I know! We're making that Beato money. The $1.49 is what we get after YouTube takes their cut. Coolio. I don't know any Coolio. Is that in a major key? Oh. I see why Randy's just. Oh, he's got a 3-day weekend. Did you see me playing in a major key? Okay. Okay. You want to keep playing this one? It's an A minor. The minor is Derval keys. Did he just give me the finger? It's an Is that too loud? hey, hey! Alright, I won't do it. What was that? You want to try the G major one? I actually did okay on that one. Okay, hang on. G, D, E minor, C. Nice ending. I think it's over. Yeah, I don't. You know how these things end? At least give us a. You know, I'm sorry, but I don't care for that guy. The guy, him, not him. I mean, not him. Him. I don't know, man. I just, you know, I don't even know who that is. Thought he was an actor or something. 78. Oh, the bell bottoms and Klaus has got the massive stilt shoes on. Oh wait. Oh, there's a oh you poor thing from Craig. Says you look like shit. Feel better. Okay, now here's where the issue is. Wait a minute, hold on. Can you see what the next song is there? Is kind of got a green background and in G minor. I think he is vigorously shaking his head. I don't even know what is that a date? IV4, IV. I don't know. No, it's just that Steve's favorite is not Pink Floyd backing track in G minor. You want to do, probably don't want to do the funk one in A minor. We can either do the seductive summer groove backing track, and here, let me pull these up over here. The summer groove or the velvet blues. Give me a 1 or a 2. Oh, keep scrolling down. The second one. You want the velvet blues or the creamy blues in D minor? Velvet or creamy? 1 or 2? 2? Okay. Wow, this is... How long is this thing? That's what she said. 12 minutes. Okay. In the immortal words of Tracy Lords, fuck it. Well, I guess I'd fade it out a little better. Hippie. I don't know what that was. Okay, we're over an hour. Are we done? Are you done? You just gonna say goodbye? You're gonna write something down? Steve's got a sore throat, so he's doing something with the metric system and a whiteboard. Sure, what? Sure we're done? Sure I gotta go? I gotta go. Done. Okay. Well, hope your throat feels better. Thanks for coming on. Say hi to everybody, just like one of those. I'll go ahead and do a, even though it's just a pop-up, we might as well do the, yeah. Well, hold on. Don't go yet. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, you done? Okay. All right, kids. Thanks for stuffing in. We're out of here. I guess I got to click end the stream.